This is a story called The Children Living in the Attic. Sarah and Philip are a young couple with 4 kids, Darcy, Charlene, Carson and Leighton. They're a close and happy family. One day Philip had an accident, landing him in hospital for 3 weeks because his injuries were quite bad. During this time, Sarah and the kids visited him every day. Whilst he's in there, Sarah starts having an affair with another man. This went on for 6 months, then Philip came home from work early one day and caught them in bed together. He told the man, George, to leave and to stay away from Sarah. That day the couple had a blazing row and Sarah left with the kids and went to George, leaving Philip absolutely devastated. George said to the kids, "I don't want you kids being noisy. I hate kids. You will all be quiet at all times and you will always do as you are told. Any bad behaviour or any nonsense from any of you, there will be consequences. Is that understood?" The kids didn't answer, so George shouted at them, "Is that understood? In future, when I ask you a question, you will answer me straight away. I will not tolerate ignorance or insolence." Carson asked, "Where will we sleep?" "You will live and sleep in the attic, and there will be no more school from now on. You do not speak to me or your mother unless we speak to you first. If you do, you will be punished. You will also be punished if you ever come out of the attic. Anyone who goes against what I've just said will be severely punished. Now go to the attic and don't come out." The kids did as they were told and went up to the attic. When they got there, Darcy asked Carson, "Do you think he means it about us living up here, Carson?" "Yes. I can't believe Mum never said anything to him. She just stood there and said nothing." Later that day, whilst George was working, Sarah went up to the attic to tell the kids to come down for their dinner. She allowed the kids to come down for their meals, but only when George wasn't at home. When George was at home, the kids were only allowed to eat their meals in the attic. One day, Sarah forgot that George was only working half day, and just as her and the kids were finishing their dinner, George walked in. "What the hell's going on here? I thought I told you kids that you are never allowed to come out of the attic. As for you, Sarah, how dare you go against me? They're my children, George. You can't force them to live in the attic. I can do as I please in my own home. It's got nothing to do with you." "I don't want my children living in the attic, George." Then George beat Sarah up in front of the kids. Carson grabbed him and said, "Get off my mum." Then George took off his belt and hit Carson with it over and over again, saying, "Don't you ever try stopping me from doing anything again. Get upstairs into the attic now, you disobedient little brat. If you ever come out of the attic again, I will beat you. Is that understood?" No one answered him, so he shouted at them, "I thought I told you kids to always answer me when I ask you a question. Now all of you get up to the attic and don't ever come out again. As for you, Sarah, I want this house clean from top to bottom, and think twice before you ever go against me again." "I'm sorry, George. I didn't mean to go against you." "Shut your mouth, Sarah, and get cleaning." That day, when Carson thought that George had gone out, he came out of the attic, and at that moment George walked in because he'd forgotten his wallet. As soon as he saw Carson, he went crazy again. "Why have you come out of the attic again, you disobedient little brat?" "I came down to see if Mum was okay." "Oh, you did you? Who gave you permission to do that?" "I don't need permission. She's my mum and you're not my dad. I don't have to answer to you." "How dare you speak to me that way, you insolent little brat? You're not my dad and I'll speak to you how I want. Is that right, my boy? Yes, it is. Then George grabbed Carson and hit him over and over again with his belt. Then he told him to go to the attic, and he did. A few days later, Charlene came down from the attic whilst George was at work. Sarah said to her, Charlene, what on earth are you doing? You know you're never allowed to come out of the attic. Imagine if George catches you. I miss you and I just wanted to see you. Then George walked in. What are you doing down here, young lady? I came to see if Mummy was okay because I miss her and I was worried about her. Who gave you permission to do that? Nobody. I just wanted to see Mummy and see if she is okay. You have been told never to come out of the attic. Now get back up there, young lady. No, I want to stay with Mummy because I miss her. Oh, you want to stay with Mummy, do you? Yes, I do. Well, you can't, so get up to the attic right now. No, I won't. I'm staying here with Mummy. You're not my daddy. I hate you. Then George took his back to Charlene and said, Now, get to the attic. No, I won't. I want to stay with Mummy. I miss her. George hit it again harder than before. Sarah said to him, George, stop, you're going to cripple her. She has a lesson to learn and I'm going to teach her it. George continued hitting Charlene over and over again with his belt. Then he said to her, Now go to the attic. If you ever come out again of there again, I'll beat you again and next time it will be worse. Charlene went to the attic sobbing. That day the kids realised that they had to get out and away from George, but they didn't want to leave their mum behind. However, they knew that they had to get away. Over the next few days they packed their bags secretly. Then one day George said he was going away on business for 3 days. On the day he went, everyone waited a few hours and then the kids came out of the attic and Carson said to Sarah, Mum, you need to pack your things so we can all get out of here now. No, we can't. If he finds us, he'll kill us. Mum, if we stay here, he'll kill us. We need to go now while we can. Sarah threw all her clothes and belongings into bags and a suitcase. Then she got the car loaded and off they went. She drove to her parents because she knew that George wouldn't find her there, but he would definitely find her if she went to Philip. When they got to Sarah's parents' house, Sarah's mum came out and said, What on earth are you lot doing here? Then Sarah broke down and cried. Sarah, what's happened? What's the matter? Sarah told her parents everything that had happened and her dad called the police. The police went to George's house and they couldn't believe what they saw. They took photos and then they went to where George was staying and arrested him. He denied everything, but the police had more than enough evidence to charge him. He was sent to prison for 15 years. When Philip found out what had happened, he couldn't believe how anyone could be so cruel. Both him and Sarah had a long talk and they decided to get back together. They went on to have 4 more kids, and the other kids overcame their ordeal and they are all doing really well in school. Darcy is about to leave school and go to teacher training so she can become a primary school teacher. Charlene wants to be a hairdresser, Carson wants to be a police officer, and Leighton wants to be a high school teacher. The end. Thank you.